Microsoft and Apple are two of the biggest tech companies in the world, each worth over $1 trillion. On the surface, they appear friendly, sometimes working together and praising each other. However, beneath that politeness is a long history of competition, betrayal, and personal grudges. Their rivalry has lasted for decades and shaped the technology we use today, from partners to rivals. In the 1970s, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were two young visionaries changing the computer world. Microsoft, founded in 1975, focused on software. Apple, started in 1976, made computers. At first, they worked together. Microsoft created software for Apple's Apple II computer, helping it succeed. But things changed when Jobs introduced the Macintosh in 1984. The Macintosh was revolutionary because it used a graphical user interface, GUI. Instead of typing commands, users could click on icons, open windows, and use a mouse. Jobs invited Gates to create software for the Mac, but when Gates saw the technology, he had his own idea: Windows. Windows versus Mac. Jobs felt betrayed when Microsoft announced Windows in 1985. He accused Gates of stealing Apple's ideas. In a heated argument, Jobs shouted, "You're ripping us off." Gates responded calmly, saying, "We both had a rich neighbor named Xerox. You broke in to steal the TV, and I came after to steal the stereo." Windows was not an immediate success, but over time, it became the world's most popular operating system. By the 1990s, Windows dominated the market while Apple struggled. Jobs never forgave Gates for what he saw as a betrayal. Legal battles and business tactics. In 1988, Apple sued Microsoft, claiming that Windows copied the look of the Macintosh. However, the court ruled in favor of Microsoft, stating that Apple had already licensed some of the GUI elements. Losing the case was a huge blow to Apple. At the same time, Microsoft used its influence to keep software companies focused on Windows, making it harder for Apple to compete. By the mid-1990s, Apple was in serious trouble. Jobs had been fired from Apple in 1985 and was watching from the outside as the company he built struggled to survive. Microsoft rises, Apple falls. The 1990s were a golden era for Microsoft. Windows 95 was a massive success, and Bill Gates became the richest man in the world. Apple, on the other hand, was losing market share. Their computers were expensive, and sales declined. Many believed Apple would not survive. Then, in 1997, something surprising happened. Microsoft invested $150 million in Apple. Gates appeared via video at an Apple event, and the audience booed. The deal kept Microsoft Office on Mac computers and helped Apple stay in business. Jobs later admitted that Apple needed the money, but working with Microsoft was a bitter pill to swallow. Apple's comeback. With Microsoft's investment, Apple began to recover. Jobs returned as CEO and introduced new products like the iMac, iPod, and later the iPhone. Microsoft continued to grow, but Apple's innovative products stole the spotlight. In the 2000s, Apple launched the famous "I'm a Mac" ad campaign, portraying Windows computers as slow and outdated. Gates was frustrated but admitted Apple had better designs. The smartphone wars. In 2007, Apple introduced the iPhone, changing the mobile industry forever. Microsoft tried to compete with its Windows Phone, but it failed. Gates later admitted that missing out on smartphones was one of Microsoft's biggest mistakes. Meanwhile, Apple's App Store became a massive success, while Microsoft struggled to make an impact. The competition even reached courtrooms.
Apple used Samsung,
which used Microsoft software, over patent issues. Microsoft secretly supported Samsung and made money from deals related to Android phones. The rivalry had expanded beyond computers. A silent battle continues. Now, Apple and Microsoft appear friendly. Microsoft makes Office for Apple devices, and Apple supports Microsoft's cloud services. The CEOs, Tim Cook and Satya Nadella, exchange polite comments. But behind the scenes, the rivalry is still strong. Microsoft's Surface tablets compete with Apple's iPads. Apple has stopped using Intel processors in its Macs, making them less dependent on Microsoft-related technology. Microsoft's Xbox competes with Apple's growing interest in gaming. Even in cloud services, music streaming, and privacy campaigns, the companies are still competing. Their business strategies are also different. Apple controls everything in its ecosystem, iPhones, Macs, and Apple Watches work together seamlessly but are closed off from outside systems. Microsoft, on the other hand, focuses on software that works on many devices. In conclusion, for over 40 years, Microsoft and Apple's rivalry has shaped the tech world, driving innovation in computers, smartphones, and software. Their fierce competition pushed both companies to improve. Even today, they challenge each other, ensuring better products for consumers. Without their rivalry, technology wouldn't be as advanced as it is today. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. It really helps. Thank you.